Daisetsuzan National Park, nestled in the heart of Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island, is a pristine wilderness offering a breathtaking blend of rugged mountains, expansive forests, and serene hot springs. It's the largest national park in Japan, famed for its dramatic volcanic landscapes and diverse flora and fauna. The park's name, which means Great Snowy Mountains, aptly describes its majestic peaks, including Mount Asahi, Hokkaido's tallest mountain. Mountaineering and hiking enthusiasts are particularly drawn to Daisetsuzan for its challenging trails and stunning vistas. The allure of scaling its peaks lies not only in the physical challenge, but also in the unparalleled beauty encountered along the way. Crystal clear lakes, vibrant wildflowers, and the chance to spot rare wildlife, such as the Etso red fox and the Hokkaido brown bear. Whether it's a strenuous climb to the summit or a leisurely trek through lush valleys, Daisetsuzan National Park offers an immersive experience in nature's splendour, making it a must-visit destination for adventurers and nature lovers alike. Mount Asahidake is a mountain that reaches a peak of over 1,600 metres. The trail taken to ascend the mountain is known to be a fairly easy route for hikers, with the path to the summit being a more or less straight way which runs for approximately 2 kilometres. Certain sections of the hiking trail can be somewhat of a challenge to navigate, but there are areas where ropes are installed on both sides of the path, ensuring that hikers can easily stay on the track and avoid getting lost. Near the summit on the ridgeline, there is a prominent rock known as Kinko Rock that acts as a guidepost. However, a nearby rock called Nisei Kinko Rock closely resembles it, leading many hikers to mistakenly use it as a landmark. This confusion has resulted in accidents in the past. However, to prevent such incidents, a rope has been placed around Nisei Kinko Rock to clearly distinguish it from the actual guidepost. On Monday, the 24th of July, 1989, 2 men employed at Otsuka Pharmaceutical in Tokyo were mountaineering on the trail between Mount Kurodake and Mount Asahidake. However, they strayed from the path and got lost. Instead of following the designated path, they mistakenly turned back and started moving south towards the Chubetsugawa River. When the 2 men failed to arrive as expected, an alarm was raised, prompting the Hokkaido police to dispatch a rescue helicopter. Despite the vast search area, complicated by the men deviating from their planned route, the police soon discovered a large SOS sign formed from 19 birch trees, each approximately 5 metres or 16 feet long. Although the police did not spot the men at the SOS site, they later located and retrieved them approximately 2 to 3 kilometres or 1 to 2 miles north of the sign. Then there was a strange twist in the tale. Once the men were aboard the helicopter, the Hokkaido Prefectural Police conducted a debriefing and provided them with food and water. During this time, one of the rescuers commented on the SOS sign the men had apparently constructed. The 2 men from Tokyo were puzzled and didn't understand what the officer was talking about. The men had never seen the sign before and were astonished by the coincidence of their being lost so near to it. This discovery led the police officers to a troubling conclusion. Someone else was stranded on the mountain and required urgent rescue. Regrettably, it was too late in the day to deploy another rescue team. The police could only hope that the stranded individual would make it through the night until the following day. On July 25, 1989, a second search and rescue mission commenced. The SOS was located about 4 kilometres or 2.5 miles from the summit of Mount Asahidake, and the police conducted a vast search of the area. Near the SOS site, the police made a chilling discovery. Numerous human bone fragments were scattered on the terrain, many showing signs of animal bites and some with fractures, possibly sustained while the individual was still alive. During their ongoing search, the police also found an abandoned backpack in a small hole near the SOS site, just large enough for one person to fit inside. The backpack contained 4 cassette tapes, a tape recorder, some jewellery reported as Lucky Charms and a talisman, a tripod, a pair of men's basketball shoes, 2 cameras, a notebook, and a human skull. The presence of a tape case decorated with anime illustrations and similar drawings in the notebook fueled speculation that the individual might have been an otaku, which is defined as a person with an intense or obsessive interest in a particular aspect of pop culture, most commonly anime, manga, and video games. The term can sometimes carry a negative connotation, implying social awkwardness or an extreme dedication that may lead to a reclusive lifestyle. However, in many contexts, otaku can simply denote a passionate fan with deep enthusiasm for these hobbies. Among the items was a driver's license, identifying the owner as a 25-year-old named Kenji Iwamura. Authorities soon discovered that Kenji was an office worker from Konan in Aichi Prefecture who'd been missing since July 10, 1984, after embarking on a hiking trip in the area. His disappearance was reported a week later when he failed to show up for work. Despite an extensive search at the time, he had vanished without a trace. The police concluded that the bones and skull they had found were Kenji's. However, the case took an unexpected turn when the human remains were examined at Asahikawa Medical University, and medical experts determined that the bones actually belonged to a woman aged 20 to 40. Medical examiners suggested that the bones could belong to multiple individuals. As a result, investigators concluded that the missing persons in the park might include 2 men and a woman. There was no official report of a missing woman, and acquaintances of Kenji stated that he typically hiked alone. This led to considerable confusion in the investigation and sparked widespread speculation in the media about the identity of the woman and her possible connection to Kenji. At this juncture, the Hokkaido police decided to review the cassette tapes they had discovered, hoping they might provide some insight into the situation. The officers were somewhat taken aback to find that some of the cassette tapes contained music from various popular anime TV shows, including Magical Princess Mink Momo. However, when they spoke to someone who knew Kenji Iwamura, they learned that he had indeed been carrying anime-themed music tapes at the time. Additionally, the acquaintance confirmed that the basketball shoes found at the scene were the correct size for Kenji. Chillingly, one of the tapes contained a recording of a young man shouting for approximately 2 minutes and 17 seconds, during which he was heard saying, quote, "SOS, help me. I can't move on the cliff. SOS, help me. The place is where I first met the helicopter. The Sasa is deep and you can't go up. Lift me up from here." It was initially assumed that the voice was that of Kenji. However, the mentioning of a cliff contradicted with where the skeletal remains were found. It's also a mystery in regards to what helicopter he was speaking of. One theory suggests that Kenji might have been influenced by an episode of Astro Boy, in which the character becomes lost on the moon and uses driftwood that appears on the lunar surface to signal for help. It's speculated that Kenji may have emulated this scenario and ended his life in a similar manner. However, once again, this contradicts with the contents of the voice recording on the cassette tape. Investigators turned their focus to the makeshift SOS sign. Police officers reached out to the Japan Forestry Agency and the Japan Geographical Authority for assistance. By examining historical topographic maps and aerial photographs, both agencies verified that the SOS sign had been present on the mountainside since at least September 20th, 1987, and possibly even earlier. On February 28, 1990, it was announced that a re-examination of the bones had been completed. The police now concluded that the remains were from a single male skeleton and not a female. It was determined that the skeleton likely belonged to Kenji Iwamura, who probably perished on the mountainside. This conclusion, however, struck many as odd. The SOS sign had been constructed by piling large, heavy fallen Japanese birch trees, and experts estimated that it would have required approximately 2 days of significant physical effort to assemble such a massive sign. Medical examiners described the skeletal remains as having belonged to a thin and weak individual, meaning that if the skeleton was indeed that of Kenji, it was implausible for him to have completed such a task alone and without any help. It's also unknown what tools were used to create the sign. However, investigators believed an axe was likely used. However, no such tool was discovered in the search effort. Examiners determined that the bones were likely fractured before death, probably due to a fall from a significant height. This finding further suggests that it is improbable Kenji constructed the sign by himself. One possibility is that he built the sign, then, growing impatient while waiting for rescue, attempted to climb to safety and fell. Many questions remain unanswered, also in regards to the cassette tapes. There is speculation that the man on the cassette tape recorded himself with the intention of leaving a message for rescuers in case he became too frail to speak. It's possible that he accidentally left the recording running, capturing his final cries for help. While many believe the voice on the tape belongs to Kenji Iwamura, his parents remain uncertain. After listening to the recording, they were unable to definitively identify whether the voice was that of their son. The most plausible explanation is that Kenji was hiking alone, became lost, and managed to construct the SOS sign before ultimately succumbing to his injuries and the harsh conditions. The skepticism about his ability to build the sign can be attributed to the extraordinary feats that desperate individuals can accomplish. Unfortunately, it seems that the truth about the situation, whether he was alone, whether his death was accidental, or if there were more sinister factors at play, will never be known. The mystery surrounding Kenji Iwamura's disappearance and the enigmatic SOS sign remains unresolved, leaving numerous questions unanswered. Despite the thorough investigations and various theories, the true sequence of events that led to Kenji's presumed death and the identity of any potential accomplices or factors involved may never be known. The haunting image of the SOS sign, along with the conflicting evidence and unanswered questions, ensures that Kenji Iwamura's story continues to both intrigue and perplex. As time passes, the case serves as a poignant reminder of the unpredictable nature of the wilderness and the enduring enigma of human survival.